I'm going to show you how to make a catfish net. First, you just loop it and you come, when you start over, start like that, just come over, go in three, this is how you thread it, go through the back, and do the same thing, and just do it over and over until you feel up your needle, or until it's so fat that it can't fit through the holes. You just alright, next thing you do is make your little knot, a loop, big enough so your needle can go through it. Make it a little bit bigger. You can't make it too big, but you can't make it too small. Alright. I think it's called an overhand knot. Alright, this is how you start. Get your little wedge, about a little bit wider than your needle, just a little bit, not much. You're gonna make your first little loop right here. You're gonna thread it through, and you put your thumb on it. And after you thread it through the loop in the middle, you go around the whole loop and make a knot. And we're gonna do it one more time. Make two, going through the same hole, and you're gonna make another knot around the whole loop. Okay, you're gonna take off. You got two right here. Now, so things don't get confusing, I always start from the left going to the right. Now let's move this over. Alright. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna go through one of these loops. Pull it tight. Now if you go through one of the loops, you make a knot around the loop. You just knot it off. Alright, now you got the separate one, you go through it. And you make a knot and tie it off. And that separate knot right there. Alright, to make it bigger, you gotta come up and do the same thing, make another loop to the same one right here. And you're gonna do this on every one to get it to the size you want it. And when you get it to the size you want, then you start reducing it, which I'll show you all that. And this is what you got. Alright, I'm gonna flip it over and do the exact same thing all over again. There's basically just a lot of this over and over and over and over. I'm gonna make a knot. You come to the next one, go through it. You just knot it off. And again, since you're done with all the loops, you go through the same loop one more time and knot it off. And this makes it bigger and bigger each time. Makes it a this is like a 1-inch hole, so it makes it 1 inch bigger every time you're doing it. Maybe rethread all these for you, make it look like I ain't got enough. I don't think I got enough string to make it across another loop. So, you better pause it. Alright, eventually you're gonna run out of string sooner or later. You just thread it up like you did earlier. And then you just make your little knot. You just tighten it up. Just cut off the excess. And that's basically it. You just keep on going with it. This and knot right there might kind of snag every once in a while, so you gotta watch it. Alright, see at the end right here. When you get to the point where you want to like halfway. So like you want a piece that's 6 foot by 6 foot. When you get to 30 with 3 foot, which is 36, when you get halfway, you got 2 loops right here. This is how you reduce your knots and make it smaller. You go through both of them. And you come down. Just make your knot through both of them. And you tie it off. And that's it. After that, you do that every time. Instead of adding on the last one, you take those 2 and tie them together. And you'll slowly get smaller and smaller and smaller. This is when this gets 3 foot, and this gets 3 foot, and that's 3 foot, and you got a perfect square, and you start reducing it. I got one right here already. That's already at that point. This one got some black string on it. Let's see. Where did I start out? Right here. I can't see. There we go. See, this is 3/4 of the way done. Maybe more than that, probably about 80% done. But once you get to halfway, which is probably about right here, you start reducing it and it gets smaller. And basically you're doing a corner. When you start out, you're doing a corner and it's getting bigger and bigger. And after you get halfway, it gets smaller, back into a diamond shape again, and it'll be a perfect square, however big you want it. Alright, after you're done, it should look like something like this. 6 by 6. Cut a little piece off. This is basically this to kind of help me hold it, because my cage is made out of concrete wire, and I just cut a piece off the top. This is just kind of help me hold it while I sew it. Let me see. Alright, the measurement is 20 inches long, and you want it 20 inches right here on the bottom. I'm going to start from the top, I guess it'd be easier for me. And however wide your cage is, that's how wide it needs to be. As you can see, I got a string that I tied the bottom with. I'm going to tie into it, and it's all going to serve a purpose. I guess I'm going to start from the bottom, work my way up. I'm basically just going to thread it through. And as you thread it, you just sew it, put it in a knot. Move up, do the same thing. Kind of like a basketball hoop, I guess, a net, same way. I don't really know how they do it. I really don't know how you do it the professional way. This is how I figured out how to do it. I live in a fishing community, but fishermen don't talk about stuff like this. So you gotta basically figure it out on your own. Some knots and work your way all the way up and sew it together. Can't see no more. And just leave it through. And I like to go like on that every other when I make a knot like this. Boom, and it's there. And weave it through. And the second one, make a little knot. Alright, we're coming to the end right here. This cage is made out of concrete wire, like I said. My dad made that 30 years ago. And he used it, he put it on top of tomatoes. And the tomatoes are growing there and you pick in there and pick your tomatoes out. But they're getting old and he's getting old, so nobody wants to fight with tomatoes in these cages anymore. So we recycle it, I guess. Or green before green is cool. So instead of throwing it away, we're just gonna go ahead and turn it to a catfish net. Let's go ahead and tie it off at the end right here. Alright, here we go. We're gonna tie it off on that black string that I put around in the bottom. And we're gonna tie it off right here. I'm gonna tie it off kind of loose because I gotta adjust it. Here. Let me go up a little higher with it, man. Basically, this is one of the flues that catches the fish. Alright, we'll tie this one off. Looks good.
Oh my gosh, chicken, you about to get cooked.
Oh, yeah, he likes to make some noise. Alright. Alright, now at this point, just want to check, make sure everything's tight. Make sure the flue's going straight down the middle. Not to the left, not to the right, not up and down. Just make sure that everything is kind of like a basketball hoop. Just everything's going straight down. With a slight little opening right here, not much. And with this, the fish is gonna push through it. And once he pushes through this, his fins won't let him back out and get out. His fins will get caught up. So once he gets caught up in here, he'll be stuck in here. All right, here's that big net that we showed up earlier. Right here, I sewed off the ends. This is gonna be 20-inch circle right here. I think 20 inches. Let me see. 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, I want a 5-inch square hole. You see what I'm talking about? Now we're gonna throw it down in here. Get some strings because I gotta pull it tight. This circle, I gotta pull this circle tight into like a square hole. Let's get it all lopsided. Let me go over here. Throw it out over here where it's kind of full off out there. Basically, it's gonna make a little knot on the black string itself. And this is gonna help you tie it into a certain shape. Alright. Just gonna weave it through one of these little holes. I'm gonna do 4 of those. And once I get all 4 of them, I'll be able to move them around and tighten them up as I need it to get the certain shape of the funnel. Alright. The wind blowing 100 miles an hour. I got some clamps just to hold it, make sure everything's square and even. Alright. And 20 divided by 4, because you want 4 corners, will be 5 inches. So every 5 inches you make you tie off some string and you run it. So I'm gonna run down probably right here. And once you get all 4 of them, you're gonna pull them all tight and tie them off. And shape your whole little funnel. Start tightening them up a little bit here and there. Tighten that one. Let's see, I'm gonna tighten this right here. Alright, let's see. Now the hole's kind of off square, so I gotta, see, tighten up this end right here. Make it more uniform. And after doing all that, make sure the hole's square and big enough. Everything works out, everything's even. We'll go ahead and pull this tight. Just keep pulling up and pulling down at the same time. So you want all this, you want this as tight as possible. Alright. Basically just start sewing all this back together. Because remember, it was a 1 square sheet and we just rolled it around the cage. Just make a loop. Make a knot on the second one.
She loves the grass.
Alright, here we go, last step. Just take it, and you're just gonna weave it through each and every one of these little holes. Go at the end and just tie it off. And basically that's just how you let the catfish out. You just open it up like that and slide it down and make a knot. That's how you tie the end off. After you do all this, you gotta tar it. And basically you just take some tar, and the people around here put it in a swimming pool and take a little gas and dilute it until like a thin paint, and just roll the catfish trap in the swimming pool, and it'll look like this after you're done. And it'll last forever if you take care of it.